Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with the BBC News. The top US military official, General Mark Milley, has said the Russian troop build-up on Ukraine's border is the largest since the Cold War and a conflict would be horrific. General Milley, who's chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the forces Russia had assembled could cause significant casualties if they were unleashed, especially in urban areas. At a Pentagon news conference, the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin outlined the threat posed by Russia.
We don't believe that President Putin has made a final decision to use these forces against Ukraine. He clearly now has that capability. And there are multiple options available to him, including the seizure of cities and significant territories. Indeed, we're seeing Russian state media spouting off now about alleged activities in eastern Ukraine. This is straight out of the Russian playbook, and they're not fooling us.
The United States and the European Union have promised to cooperate to secure Europe's energy supplies as tensions continue over Ukraine. Jessica Parker reports.
While Russia has denied it plans to invade Ukraine, the West has threatened massive sanctions if it does. But that's led to fears there could be countermeasures by Moscow, including a cut to gas flows. So the EU's scrambling to strike agreements with other countries. Its Energy Commissioner, Kadri Simpson, will go to Azerbaijan next week to meet with ministers. There have also been talks with Qatar, while the US and EU will hold an energy summit in February as the bloc looks to boost its supplies of liquefied natural gas from America.
The West African regional body ECOWAS has suspended Burkina Faso's membership following this week's military coup. The 15-member bloc also called for the immediate release from house arrest of the ousted president Roch Kaboré and other detained officials. ECOWAS agreed to send a delegation of chiefs of defence staff and then a ministerial-level mission to meet the coup leaders in the capital, Ouagadougou. Police in Guatemala say they have broken up a ring of people smugglers, or coyotes, involved in the deaths of 15 migrants near the US border a year ago. The operation was carried out in one of Guatemala's poorest provinces, San Marcos, from where the migrants departed. Will Grant has more details.
In total, 9 people were detained on charges ranging from trafficking to money laundering. Specifically, they are accused of having illegally transported 15 of those who were murdered as they journeyed north through Mexico. The victims had paid around $15,000 a person, the authorities said. The group of 16 Guatemalan migrants, as well as 1 Salvadoran and 2 Mexicans, were gunned down and their bodies burnt inside the vehicles they were travelling in. 12 state police officers from Tamaulipas were later arrested and charged with their murders.
This is the World News from the BBC. Data from Oxford University shows that 10 billion coronavirus jabs have now been administered around the world. It's less than 13 months since mass vaccination began. Steve Jackson has more.
Oxford University has been keeping a tally since vaccines were first rolled out, and it hit the 10 billion mark today. The estimate highlights both the staggering speed at which the world has responded to the pandemic and the huge inequality between different countries. More than 60% of the world's population have now received at least 1 dose of the vaccine, but this figure falls to less than 10% in low-income countries. At the top of the list is the United Arab Emirates, where 99% of people have been partially or fully vaccinated. In Nigeria, the figure is just 6.5%.
Steve Jackson reporting. President Biden has used the collapse of a bridge in the US city of Pittsburgh to defend his $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Arriving in the city hours after the collapse, Mr. Biden said the US had been so far behind on infrastructure for so many years. He promised to fix all the aging bridges of the country. Tunisia's Interior Ministry says police have thwarted a planned terror attack targeting tourist areas. A Syrian woman who is accused of planning a suicide bombing has been jailed. The 22-year-old, said to have been trained by an unspecified extremist group, was arrested at Tunis airport earlier this month. A week after his death, the rock star Meat Loaf's most popular album, Bat Out of Hell, has re-entered the UK charts at number 3, its highest ever placing. Released in 1977, the operatic rock album originally failed to chart at all, only starting to sell the following year when Meat Loaf appeared on a BBC television show. It became one of the best-selling albums ever. Meat Loaf died last Friday, aged 74. That's the BBC News.